You tapping in real quick, something light, nothing major. You know what I'm talking about? Finna chop it up with y'all for a few minutes while I, finish burning down this nightcap and all that. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, listen, man. I had a I have a 6 leg parlay in, and then I had an 8 leg parlay in. My 8 leg parlay turned to 7 legs. Then it turned, into the same 6 legs that I already have in. So I have two of the same 6 leg parlays in. One has a little bit more on it than the other because one was just six and one was eight. The one that was, the one that is six had more on it than the one that was eight that is now six. But either way, it's down to them six to just do what they need to do. With that being said, when I parlayed Basharat up, he was not over the minus 500 money line, which he currently is. So moving forward, I am not comfortable adding him to my parlays. You understand what I'm saying to you? Due to the fact that he is over that minus 500 money line number for absolutely no reason, in my personal opinion. Because while I do like him, and I based my confidence in him on the fact that, you know, he beat Taylor Loplius, because I am very high on Taylor Loplius. Some might want to say, his last 3 fights, Damon Blackshear, Clayton Rodriguez, and Taylor Loplius, I'm just not that high on the other two guys. Especially not that high on Clayton Rodriguez. Really not that high on Damon Blackshear. Very much so. Very high on Taylor Loplius. So that is why I sided with him confidently. You understand what I'm saying to you? With that being said, though, we can't deny the fact that, you know, up until those last 3 fights, I guess, he'd faced absolutely nobody of any legitimacy on, any platform, anywhere, in any way, shape, form, or fashion. You know what I'm talking about? Not that anybody really jumps off the resume on Victor Hugo's side, and he does. He's 29, 25 and 4. He has, you know, 2 times plus one the wins that Basharat just has in fights, but rightfully so. You know what I mean? He has 2 times and some change more fights than Basharat, man. But the all-around body of work that both of these young men produce is very solid. I said it in my video. Victor Hugo's no chump. Very solid, very well-rounded, and is proven to be very dangerous in his own right. Quite a few submissions, and not only just from, you know, taking his opponents down, searching for them, finding them, and locking them up. Quite a few come from individuals attempting to implement their, all-around body of work, attempting to wrestle and grapple and get him to the mat. He finds a submission and sinks it in just like that. You know what I'm talking about? Now, Basharat went 5 for 16 on takedowns against Taylor, who has very good takedown defense, in my personal opinion. What if he is unable to get that part of his game going against Victor Hugo, though? You understand what I'm saying to you? What if when he doesn't like how things are going on the feet and he decides to implement his all-around body of work by, implementing his wrestling and grappling, Victor Hugo doesn't allow that to happen and keeps this fight upright and is able to edge him out in the striking department and produce the better body of work and out volume him, possibly 1.5 or 2 to 1. You understand what I'm saying to you? I know neither one of these individuals, in my personal opinion, have faced the, with, see, that Taylor Loplius win really got me, man. You know what I mean? That Taylor Loplius win really fucking got me. That's the one that really has me, man. You know what I mean? I would like to think that neither one of these individuals have really faced the level of opposition that they're going to be facing on Saturday in each other. You know what I'm talking about? This is going to be a match. This is going to be a very closely contested matchup, in my personal opinion. And I know, you know, one thing has nothing to do with the other, like I said. Um, Basharat went 5 for 16 against Loblius. He went whatever he went in his other matchup, and then he found a submission in the other matchup. In you know, Hugo's last matchup, he made old boy go like 1 for 13 on takedowns, and was able to keep it upright for the most part and outstrike him almost 2-1 and produced a better body of work. Now I know one thing has nothing to do with the other, and old boy wasn't Basharat, just like Loblius ain't Hugo. So it is what it is, and styles make for matchups. But in my personal opinion and from my personal experience, it's usually one of the favorites, and more times than not, one of the significant favorites, one of the more bigger favorites on the card that fumble the bag for me, man. Like the dogs will bark and pop the fuck off for the most part, and the other individuals will do what they need to do to get the job done, and then it'll be one of the significant favorites that fumble the fucking bag, man. And this has nothing to do with just this past weekend. It's happened on multiple occasions. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's why I stress to stay away from minus 500 or above. And now that that's where Basharat's at with Kennedy, like, come on. One of them's fumbling the bag. Hopefully not both of them, but one of them's definitely fumbling the bag, in my personal opinion. Like Chris Barnett's no chump. He's 5'8", but he's no chump. 18 knockouts, victories, one knockout loss. Kennedy has 8 knockout wins, 2 knockout losses. Like Chris is going to utilize that octagon. He's going to bring the fight to him. He's going to be throwing them strikes, them leg kicks, them body kicks, them spinning heel kicks, fucking flying knees. He might jump off the cage like Showtime Pettis, man. I said it in my other video. Like, he's not going to just sit there and bullshit around with Kennedy and Chuck Will, who already fumbled the bag as an even bigger favorite against Ovin St. Preux when we cashed, or at least I did, with old Vince at plus 500. You understand what I'm saying to you? So it's very, and Chris in his own right has cashed as a significant underdog in the past. It's very much like Robellis versus Austin, where you have two, it's heavyweight MMA. It might possibly be the first fight of the night, but even if it's not, it's heavyweight MMA. And there's question marks on both sides. One already fumbled the bag as a significant favorite, and the other has already cashed as a significant underdog in the past on multiple occasions. You understand what I'm saying to you? So in my personal opinion, now that Basharat's over the minus 500 line, he just has me. It has me nervous. Moving forward, I'm rocking with my 5 legs that are very solid in my personal opinion. And everything after that is swap out options and dog legs. You know what I'm talking about? Dog plays. Dog legs attached to my confident picks for dog plays, and just straight up dog plays. You know what I'm talking about? Because my 5, I'm good with them guys, man. Staying away from them first couple fights, staying away from them last couple fights, staying away from the heavyweight fight. You know what I mean? Staying away from anybody minus 500 or above. Staying away from fight that I myself have question marks on. Last week, that left me with Charles, Azul, and Gene. This week, we have 14 fights, more to work with. And all in the middle, after I trim that fat away, it leaves me with Lerone Murphy, Shara Magomedov, Magomed Ankalaev, Jeff Neal, and Mikdai Beck Oralby. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm good with those 5 for almost 4 times my money. Because when I attach a dog leg like Victor Hugo to that, boy, it's going to go through the roof. You know what I mean? And, you know, my most confident underdog on the card, I have 2 most confident underdogs on the card. And they would have to be Max and Bruno Ferreira. You know what I'm talking about? Bruno Ferreira is very fucking dangerous. The wrestling and grappling, I believe, is in his favor. If those exchanges take place, I believe he's going to get the best of those exchanges. I can see him winning via KO, TKO, or via submission inside the distance. I honestly don't think it goes 15 minutes. And I think a boost gets finished, man. You know what I'm talking about? I would have liked to say that both Brunos were going to win, but I'm not as confident in Bruno Silva. You know what I'm talking about? And Max, I mean, come on, man. Let's talk about let's talk about Max and Ilya. I get it. Ilya has looked absolutely magnificent as of yet. You know what I'm talking about? But with the exception of his last two fights, I mean, really, who who has he fought? You know what I mean? For us to be making Max the fucking underdog. You understand what I'm saying to you? We're basing that off the fact that he knocked out Alexander Volkanovski. You know what I mean? And Alexander Volkanovski beat Max all those times that they fought. One thing has nothing to do with the other. Styles make matchups. The frames make a fucking difference. The range, the distance game, the utilization of the octagon, and the style. Just styles make matchups, man. Max is not Volk. You know what I'm talking about? And I said it before, man. Just because, you know, say you and old boy fight, you know what I'm talking about? And old boy beats the brakes off of you. Then me and old boy fight, and I beat the brakes off of old boy. Then they line me and you to fight up just because I beat the brakes off of the boy to beat the brakes off of you. You might beat the brakes off of me. Styles make matchups. And I might come in there sleeping on you a little bit because I beat the shit out of old boy that beat the shit out of you. You know what I'm talking about? People read too much into shit that don't. One thing has nothing to do with the other. You understand what I'm saying to you? Styles make matchups. And I believe Max is a very bad stylistic matchup for Ilya. Look at the last individual that had space with Ilya. It was fucking Jai Hubert, and he almost disconnected him from his fucking consciousness. Ilya proved to us that he can take a shot and work through adversity and still throw back. You understand what I'm saying to you? But he also proved to us that he can get fucking cracked. And if he can get cracked like that by Jai Hubert, what the fuck do you think Max can do to him? Listen, man. Listen, I've said it many times. I said it when Max was an underdog against Gaethje. Like I've said it many times, man. You know what I'm talking about? It is what it is. Styles make matchups, but look at those fucking resumes, man. You know what I'm talking about? And who did this young man really fight on his way to that title? Prior, listen, it was very, in my personal opinion, with all due respect, it was very Conor McGregor esque. And what I mean by that is Connor's might have even been a little bit better because he had sprinkles of individuals who were at the, at least Max was at the beginning. I think when he fought Max was a fucking teenager. Like, I mean, he was a young kid, man. Max was just coming into the UFC, second, third fight in the UFC, and Connor implemented an all-around game. He didn't strike with him. He wrestled and grappled and struck with him. And he got that motherfucking decision. You know what I mean? So hat off to him for getting a young Max. He wouldn't get a Max now. You know what I'm talking about? He wouldn't get a lot of the individuals, in my personal opinion, that he got if he ran it back with him. But it is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? Hats off to him for getting it the way he did. But let's talk about it, man. Because I say it's Conor-esque, you know what I mean? He uh, he fought a depleted Dustin Poirier, too, but we saw how that happened. Went down when Dustin wasn't depleted. Much why I say I would have liked to see him fight Jose and Eddie Alvarez, both again, after both of them felt the power and weren't sleeping on him. But we never got that. We'll never get that. And that's on me to have to be salty about. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Connor got those two wins, so we'll give him that. That's why I say he has sprinkles in there that make his run just a bit better than Ilya's because of those two sprinkles right there. Everything else, Marcus Brimage, Dennis C, all that other shit, garbage. And then he gets Chad Mendez on short notice, who takes the first round, but gasses out. All them shots to the motherfucking body was catching up with him with the teeps and all that, and then that right behind it just put him out of there. Hats off to him for getting Chad, and then he caught Jose and then hauled ass. Eddie was up there with the belt. He caught Eddie and then hauled ass. You know what I'm talking about? Iliato Pura. He ain't really fight nobody. His sprinkle, we might say his sprinkle was like Yusef Salau and Yusef Salau's first run in the UFC. Because he fought a couple individuals in his first run where he took those losses and had to walk away that were a decent level of opposition. You know what I'm talking about? I guess Ilya being one of them. You feel what I'm saying to you? So we'll give him Yusef Salau as his sprinkle. You know what I mean? But Dustin and Max are still better sprinkles for Connor. You know what I mean? But his sprinkle is Yusef Salau. And then he gets Josh Emmett, like Connor got Chad Mendez. You understand what I'm saying to you? Then he gets Jose Aldo and clips him, like Ilya got Volkanovski and clips him. And now what are we going to do? We're going to motherfucking make him the favorite and 2 to 1, 2.5 to 1 over Max fucking Holloway. Come on, man. Come on, man. Max is different. Max isn't going back up into the fucking corner. You know what I'm talking about? Max isn't going to go where you want him to go. Max isn't going to come to the center of the octagon in the first seconds of the fucking fight if you point to it. He's not going to feel like no chump if he don't do it, because real individuals like myself know what the real purpose of that moment is. You know what I'm talking about? It's after the back and forth. It's after we've been in here for 14 or 24 minutes. You understand what I'm saying to you? And it's been a back and forth, or I've been beating the fucking brakes off of you, and I'm gonna give you the one shot you got to go ahead and get me up out of here. Let's rock. You understand what I'm saying to you? Pointing to the ground. Then that's what it's all about, man. Pointing to the ground in the beginning is defeating the purpose, and it's robbing the fans of the fucking performance. You understand what I'm saying to you? We want that bang out. We want that war. We want that back and forth. Or we want to see Max prove that there's levels to this shit. Or we want to see you catch him, hurt him, make him retreat back into the corner and beat the brakes off of him, because it's just what you do. Not come on out here and let's see what happens in these first 10 seconds. That's whack as fuck. That defeats the purpose. Max ain't gonna bite on that shit. He's not feeding into that shit. You understand what I'm saying to you? And in my personal opinion, that's you trying to get out the easy way. You know what I mean? That's you don't want that moment to happen in the last 10 seconds after y'all stood there for 24 motherfucking minutes and 45 or 50 seconds. You don't want that moment then. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. You don't want to go through all that, in my personal opinion, to get to that moment. That's why you try to cop out with that funny boy shit. I'm going to point in the first 10 seconds to see what he wants. Ain't nobody biting on that shit. Ain't nobody biting on that shit, man. You can keep that bait out there all day. Ain't no, we gonna swim right around that and just fuck shit up. You know what I'm talking about? But man, I'm confident as a motherfucker in Max, man. How can you not be? You know what I mean? How can you not be? You know, Ilya would have to go out here and implement a wrestling and grappling heavy game and just win this one via split decision or majority decision to keep the belt, because you know, he locked up and secured possibly multiple takedowns over the course of 25 minutes. But that's a big if in my personal opinion, because Max might just fuck him up, y'all, and show motherfuckers levels to this shit, man. Like, what's wrong with you, man? He might Jose Aldo like Jose did to Jonathan Martinez, man. You know what I mean? And if they give Ilya a win like they gave Mario a win over Jose, that's just gonna be trash. That's gonna be fucking whack. That's gonna be controversial. Nobody wants to see that. You know what I'm talking about? Listen, man, it is what it is. I like who I like. There will be dog plays, you know, with Max. There will be main card dog plays, you know what I'm talking about? He will be involved in haymakers and Hail Marys. I like Bobby Knuckles, man. And if Bobby Knuckles can keep it upright, it's going to be a fucking fight. And I know we talk about Camaro and we talk about these ones and those ones, but like I said, one thing has nothing to do with the other. Uh, Bobby Knuckles wrestling game and, you know, grappling. offensively and defensively, has proven to be very fucking legitimate. You know, over the years, you can tell that him and Volkanovski fucks around in the gym, because Volk is like a little version of him. You know what I mean? The way they move around in that bitch sometimes, man. I like Robert Whitaker, man. I just don't like, and I know one thing has nothing to do with the other. I don't like how he responded to the last time he had pressure put on him. You know what I'm talking about? And I know that was DDP, and it's a different type of pressure, but I just don't think Hamzat's gonna let up off of him. I'm gonna have a couple dog plays with Bobby Knuckles and the Bless Express involved together, and a couple haymakers with both of them in it. Yeah, I'm talking about, but the pick's still gonna be Hamzat because I can just see it, and when I can see it like that, you know what I'm talking about? It just is what it is, man. Leron Murphy, he's gonna hurt Dan Ige. He's gonna hurt Dan Ige, in my personal opinion. I like Dan Ige, man. Dan Ige's been up against a nice level of opposition, man. He hasn't really beaten a whole lot of anybody that really jumps off the resume, though. He's fought somebody's that jump off the resume. He hasn't really beaten them, though. You know what I'm talking about? And it is what it is. I like Leron Murphy, though. He's solid everywhere, man. You know what I'm talking about? And I think he's gonna hurt him. I think he's gonna hurt him. And if he doesn't get him out of there inside the distance, then I think he's gonna hurt him multiple times over the course of 15 minutes. And I think it's gonna show on Dan Ige's face and in Dan Ige's reactions and responses to the shots landed. He's powerful. He's strong. He's solid. He's well rounded. He can keep the fight wherever the fuck he wants it, especially in this matchup. It is what it is, man. You know what I mean? I don't see him lose it to Dan Ige if they run it 10 times out of 10. They could run that motherfucker 3 times back to fucking back on Saturday night. He gonna win all 3 times. Because he gonna hurt him so much the first time. It's just my personal opinion, but he gonna get him, man. Shara and Armin, it's gonna be good. I'm hoping it's gonna be good as I can see it being, because I can see that being a fucking banger. You know what I mean? But Shara's definitely gonna do the better work, man. Definitely gonna do the better work. Magomed and Ankalaev and Ratchet, he's probably the least. He probably is the least, because I don't like that he's at almost minus 400. I don't like that. I don't really like that against anybody for Magomed Ankalaev. You know what I mean? Because Magomed Ankalaev is not somebody who really goes out there and looks like minus 400 or 300. He's somebody who goes out there and just really kind of justifies the minus 225 price tag. You know what I mean? He goes out there and he don't really three round and 3 to none nobody 30-27. It's usually 2 rounds to one. Solid body of work. You know what I mean? And he can be dangerous. You would think that he would want to be a bit more dangerous in this matchup. So you would think that he would want to implement that wrestling and grappling and get it down to the mat and search for that submission. Because I don't think he really wants to play around with Ratchet. He's not like Yuri. I'm not as confident in Magomed on the feet with Ratchet as I was with Yuri. Because Magomed's not going to bring the kind of, fighter Ratchet that, I said Ratchet. Because Yuri will make Ratchet fight Ratchet. You know what I'm talking about? He'll make a motherfucker get all the way out the game plan, man. And at least a motherfucker like Ratchet, I called that one, and it's exactly how it went down, man. Ratchet was landing them leg kicks, doing a better body of work until he wasn't. Until old boy put him in that gunfight, put him in that kind of fight he didn't like being in, that he's uncomfortable in. Yuri's not. And Yuri landed that shot and followed up and handled that business, man. You know what I mean? But I'm not as confident with Magomed on the feet as I was with Yuri. You know what I mean? But I am confident that he can beat Ratchet, man. Even if it's 2 rounds to one. Even if he goes out there, it's highly competitive in the first round, realizes that, mixes in some grappling, takes the first round, loses the second round, or loses the first round and realizes I should have implemented the ground game a bit quicker, implements his all around game, takes the second and third. I don't know how it's going to go down, but I do like him to win. I just don't like the price tag next to him. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I struggle back and forth with where to put him in my top five. As far as number wise, you know what I'm talking about. But Jeff Neal, not 2024 RDA, not 2024, maybe 2014, maybe even 2018. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But not 2024, man. You feel me? Jeff going 2 rounds of one. He gonna do the better body of work. He gonna maybe justify his price tag by hurting RDA a couple times. You know what I'm talking about? Cracking him. I don't know if he justifies a minus 300 though. You know what I mean? Or wherever he's at right now. And then McDye oral buy, that's gonna be a good one, man. But I like him to just get this one done in some way, shape, form, or fashion, man. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. Everything else is very much pick your own poison. In my personal opinion, I know individuals like Ebo. I don't know why individuals like Ebo. Maybe somebody could tap me in and fill me in because I haven't seen anything on the resume that jumps off to me. I haven't seen anything that I've been able to watch, and this is going back a bit now from his last matchup, you know, where he got the little bit of revenge. But the fact that he even lost to that individual in the first place kind of kind of just bothers me, man. You know what I mean? It's not that there's anything on the other side that jumps off. It's more so just a fade on Ebo, man. You know what I mean? Maybe somebody knows something I don't know, seen something in the training room, knows, got an inside look, knows him a bit better. Personally, I have absolutely no clue. You know what I mean? Fill me the fuck in. But as of now, I mean, that pick ain't gonna switch. I'm on who I'm on this week. You know what I'm talking about? Maybe moving forward, I'll have a different conversation about Ebo, if I'm even saying his name right. But yeah, man. You know what I'm talking about? And Bruno and the Bull. Maybe Bruno knocks Ishmael out. Silva, he's fighting Ishmael, right? Maybe he knocks Ishmael out, man. Maybe he gets him the fuck up out of there. I don't know. Never really been high on the Bruno Silva side. You know what I'm talking about? And I believe, with the exception of maybe the Chris Weidman fight, I've been on the right side of all of his fights, man. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm on the wrong side. Maybe it's going to be another Brazilian to bark and pop off, and it's going to be the Bruno with one L, one N, as well as the Bruno with two. You know what I mean? Dog started barking on the TV and all that. We shall see, to be determined. You feel me? And yeah, man, that's that with that. You know what I mean? I like Max, man. I really like him. As much as I like Rob, the pick is Hamzat because I can see Hamzat going out there and doing what I believe he's gonna do. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm not betting it unless swap out options have to be applied out of respect for the other side with Bobby Knuckles. You know what I'm talking about? It's a must, man. It is an absolute must. Anybody that on the side of Dan Ige, if that pops off and y'all secure that and that dog barks, man, hats off to you for that call. Salute, man, because I don't see it happening. I think that young man's gonna get fucking hurt. You know what I'm talking about? I think he's gonna get hurt, man. And I don't care about off the couch against Diego Lopez. Um, Leron Murphy is not Diego Lopez. One thing has nothing to do with the other, and I would like to see Diego Lopez in there with Leron Murphy, to be honest with you, so Leron Murphy could go ahead and did that one too. You know what I'm talking about? Because in my personal opinion, that's exactly what he'll do. He's too strong everywhere. And he hits too fucking hard everywhere. You know what I mean? But that's just me. I said the same thing about Montel and Demond, and everybody was on Demond and didn't want to hear what I had to say. Maybe I was right then and I'll be wrong on Saturday, but I believe I'm right about Leron. That's why he's number one, holding the throne on the top of the heap when it comes to my picks of the week. You know what I mean? Most confident. He number one, man. Fuck the money lines. Fuck what the money lines suggest. Leron Murphy, he uh he the um he the number one for me, man. He gonna get it done. And I'm talking about him and Shara. They come together at a plus money number on a main card. Nothing too crazy, but they do. You toss Max in there with them, it's gonna boost though. You know what I mean? Straight up. But that's that with that. I'm fitting to tap the fuck out and go under. I done ran my yap long enough. Appreciate anybody who tapped in. Just bullshitting. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna put these parlays, parlay options, all of my parlays, dog plays, haymakers, and all that good shit on the community wall. And you know, best of luck, man. Get them bets in, and hopefully no more fights get canceled. You know what I'm talking about? Peace and blessings.